Today's video, we're going to be discussing the Matthew Stafford for Jared Goff trade. We're going to be analyzing it, breaking down. With that said, let's dive right into it. Before we get started, please drop a like and a sub on today's video. That would mean a lot for me, and let's dive right into this video. So we're going to look at this trade here, and this is the thing. So basically, the Rams are going to be trading Jared Goff and 2 future first-round picks and this year's third-round pick to the Detroit Lions in exchange for Matthew Stafford. And when I have to look at things for a second, okay, I'm just going to tell you this for a second, okay? I think that the winner of this trade has got to be the Detroit Lions. They did a fantastic job. They get 2 future first-round picks when they're going to be able to be competitive again, okay, right, in 2022 and 2023. They get another third-round pick this year. They have a quarterback they can build around. And then they've got the cap space where they can build and put all these pieces together. You got to remember, Jared Goff is still a really good quarterback in the NFL. I think he's a top 12 to top 15 quarterback in the NFL. And although Matthew Stafford was a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, the Rams simply overpaid. They put a premium on Matthew Stafford. And although that does make sense from the Rams' point of view, I mean, if you think about it for a second, right, they believe that they're a quarterback away. They've got a good offense. They've got an elite defense from what we've seen this year for that LA Rams team. And they believe that Matthew Stafford, who's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, can get them to the Super Bowl, unlike Jared Goff could last season. I mean, Jared Goff was good with the LA Rams during his career with them. I mean, he led the team to a Super Bowl. He did a good job overall, and I thought that he did. I thought he did a good job. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that he did a really good job as the quarterback for the LA Rams. But when you really look at things for a second, I mean, you just got to admit something for a second. I mean, the Detroit Lions pulled off a steal here. You get a franchise quarterback level kind of player in Jared Goff. You still keep your first round pick this year. You added 2 first round picks in the next 3 drafts, right? You got another first round pick in 2022. You got another first round pick in 2023. You're gonna have 5 first round picks in the next 3 drafts. You added another third round pick this year. You're building for the future, but you still got a quarterback that can be really good now. So I mean, this Detroit Lions team is in a total rebuild, but they've got the cap space, 1. And 2, they've got all this draft capital and all this cap space to really build around a guy like Jared Goff. Will they bring Kenny Golladay back? Will they bring Marvin Jones Jr. back? They're going to need to help out that offense. They're going to really need to invest in that defense. But now they've got the draft capital in the future for the next 2-3 years for them to really turn around this franchise and really go into it. As I said, the Matthew Stafford part of it, I mean, Matthew Stafford wanted out of Detroit. They moved away from that, right? They realized that, Matthew Stafford, right, was no longer the guy in Detroit. Matthew Stafford didn't want to be there. And they traded him away for, even if Jared Goff doesn't really work out in Detroit, I mean, maybe you guys don't even believe in a guy like Jared Goff. I think you have to believe in a guy like Jared Goff. But you just got Jared Goff and 2 future first-round picks. That's incredible. Although you didn't get an extra first-round pick this year, obviously the Rams did not have a first-round pick this year because they traded that away at the end of the day. But, I mean, at the end of the day, this is a team, or at least I think they traded away. I'm pretty sure. I'm not entirely sure about that. Don't quote me on that. But, I mean, you got 2 future first-round picks to when you're going to be competitive and when you're going to be rebuilding. You're going to be adding more and more young talent each year. And although the Rams are going to be a lot better with Stafford than a guy like Goff, I don't really think I don't think there's enough of a difference maker between a guy like Stafford and a guy like Goff. Sure, Goff is better, but I don't really think that, a guy like Stafford is going to make a huge difference. I mean, yeah, as I said, Stafford is better, not Goff is better. I messed that up. But I think Stafford is a little bit better, but I don't think he's going to make a huge enough difference. However, if you're the LA Rams, you believe that Stafford is going to give you a competitive advantage over a guy like Jared Goff and a big enough advantage to allow for you to make a Super Bowl run. I mean, Goff, as I said, has led the Rams to a Super Bowl before, but obviously the Rams organization just believed that a guy like Stafford is the guy that could get them over the edge. As I said, for the Lions, I love this trade. I think you gotta give them an A+, right? You get a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL, top 15 in my opinion. I think a top 12 quarterback has potential to be if you get good receivers. And I mean, you got a good tight end there in T.J. Hawkinson. And the offensive line, it's going to have to be worked on. You got some semblance of a run game. I mean, DeAndre Swift played really well at times last year, but the offense needs to be retooled. But you got a quarterback that's been able to have success at the NFL level. And that's not something that a lot of rebuilding offenses and rebuilding teams get to have. And that's a luxury that the Detroit Lions are going to be able to have. And with that said, I mean, I think this is just a fantastic home run move for the Detroit Lions. I absolutely love what they were able to do here. They build for the future. They get a younger quarterback who I think still his best years are ahead of him. I think Jared Goff is still a legit top 10 borderline top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Right now, I'd say he probably had a top 15, top 20 season, but he's got room to improve. And although he did have good receivers that he's not going to have in Detroit, I still think that he's a great quarterback to just put a younger quarterback than Stafford in a way. I think he's a guy who can really throw the ball deep downfield. He's accurate in the shorter passes. I mean, he had the most accurate year of his career last year. So with that said, I think Jared Goff is a really good move for the Detroit Lions. I just like it. And then you bring in the extra first round picks, and you bring in a third round pick, and you bring all this draft capital that you can really build and assemble a young team moving forward. I think this is an absolute home run pick for the Detroit Lions. For the Rams, I think it's a little bit of a head scratcher. You're trading away future first round picks. I mean, for a guy that I think is only going to get worse over time. And for a guy, I mean, Matthew Stafford's really good. I think he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, but I don't really think that Stafford is enough to get them over the hump. So with that said, I love what the Lions did here. A little bit of a question mark for the Rams, but I just really enjoy and really, I really am, excited to see what the Lions are going to be able to build in the next few years with Jared Goff under center for the Detroit Lions. Really weird to say. And with that said, that's pretty much going to end the video for today. Did you agree with my analysis? Why or why not? Leave your comments and thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Also, if you're new around here, please drop a like and a sub on today's video. I would really appreciate it. With that said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, see ya.